Hi guys, and welcome to today's brunch where we will be making one of, I think, the most versatile and tasty brunch recipes. We are going to be making crepes, and I'm going to show you how I make them, how I serve them. I like to start with savory and then switch to sweet, so we'll do a little of both. It's going to be really fun and really delicious. But first, let's get started with our breakfast cocktail. So we're gonna be making one of my favorite breakfast cocktails, which is an Aperol Spritz. And if you don't have Aperol, you need to go get some. It is delicious. It is a bitter liqueur that is really flavorful and a super fun color. So it makes really great drinks and is really good mixed with bubbles, which is what we will be doing. So get 2 big wine glasses. We use big wine glasses here, we're not shy. And fill these huge wine glasses with ice. Then we're gonna measure an ounce of the Aperol into each glass. Then we are going to top it with some Prosecco. Give it a stir with a straw. And then I like to add an orange wedge to each one. And then just give it a final swirl. And you have these beautiful, with the orange inside, Aperol Spritz. I think we better taste it. It's very refreshing, really delicious. We're gonna go bring Brandon his. Okay, now that we have our breakfast cocktail, it is time to move on to making the crepes. And I spent a lot of time last weekend playing around with this, and I think I found the recipe that I'm ready to share with you guys. We're gonna use 3 eggs. Now whisk those up first, just a little bit. Next, we're gonna add 1.5 cups of milk. Add that right to the egg mixture. Then to this, we're going to add a cup of flour using my adorable kitty measuring cup. Actually, I'm gonna add the dry ingredients here and then add the wet ingredients right into my pour. So along with the flour, you need a tablespoon of sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm gonna pour the wet ingredients right in and mix this all up. Do this slowly so you're really making sure that the ingredients are incorporating together. You do not want lumpy crepes. Now really whisk the heck out of this. It should be a very creamy batter. You can also use a blender if you want, but I don't like getting the blender out and messy and cleaning it, so I'm just using my hand and I think it comes out just as nice. Once that's all mixed up, you're gonna add 3 tablespoons of melted butter, slowly. And then we're just gonna let that rest. It's just gonna hang out on the counter for about 15 or 20 minutes or until we're ready to make our crepes. Okay guys, so our crepe batter has been resting for about 20 minutes now, and I think we're ready to make some crepes. So for my crepes, I'm going to use this frying pan. It is non-stick. We do not want our crepes sticking, and it's the right size. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that. So I'm gonna turn my stove onto medium heat, and I'm gonna give the batter one last whisk and really mix it all up before we put it onto the pan. You also want a thin coating of butter on the pan. Now I'm gonna do all my crepes at once, so I wanna keep them warm with aluminum foil, so I'm just gonna leave it on the plate, and as they come out, I can set them down and then cover them with the foil. Now, when the pan is hot enough, you are going to want to carefully pour the batter into the hot pan and swirl it around so that the batter gets on every part of the bottom, but in one thin layer, not in a thick layer. Crepes, guys. So you're gonna let that cook for a minute or two, and then carefully using a rubber spatula, flip it onto the other side and cook it for another minute or two. Then you're going to repeat this with the rest of the batter until it's all used up, using more butter to coat the pan if necessary. And it might take some practice to make the thin coating on the bottom of the pan and get the twisting of the pan down correctly. But I'm fairly confident that you guys are gonna do a great job with this. And there's gonna be so many crepes that if you mess up the first few, that's fine. Just eat them or throw them away or whatever and move on. And just do that until you have a gorgeous looking stack of crepes on your plate. And now you guys look at this gorgeous stack of crepes that we have here. Oh my goodness, they are so thin and they look so delicious. Look at these crepes. They look amazing, and we're gonna fill them with really delicious stuff. Before we fill our crepes, I think we should do an ultimate test on how easy this is for people by asking Brandon to come do one. And let's see your crepe. Oh, this is looking good.
Wow. Do I need to flip it?
You do need to flip it. Go around the edges and then find a spot where you can stick it under and just flip it. Look, you guys, Brandon did this. That means anyone can do it.
That's very true.
Okay, guys, now that we have our crepes and they look amazing, wow, it is time for the fun part where we get to fill them with stuff and then eat them. So the first ones that we're going to do are my favorite savory crepes. So let's take a crepe. I'm gonna actually put it back on the pan because I want it to be hot. This first savory crepe is a ham and Gruyere crepe. And we're gonna put the Gruyere right onto half of the crepe. Then we're gonna get some lovely Black Forest ham and put that on there. Then when you can see that the cheese is kind of starting to melt here, we are going to fold it in half, just like that. And then I like to fold it in half one more time. We got the double fold going on. And then I like to top my savory crepes with a couple of chives, ham and Gruyere. The next option, number 2, savory crepe, is going to be with smoked salmon and creme fraiche. Now you can use smoked salmon in a package like this. This is fine. But I was actually in the neighborhood of Russ and Daughters last night. This is called Irish Organic Smoked Salmon. And I only got a little bit because it's very expensive. And I'm gonna be using this on our smoked salmon savory crepe. Okay, so I have my crepe, and I'm gonna take my creme fraiche, and I'm gonna put it on half of the crepe. I have some chopped dill and some chives. Then I'm gonna take my delicious Irish organic smoked salmon, and I'm gonna put this on half the crepe too. And we are gonna top this one with a little dollop of creme fraiche. And just like our other savory crepe, a couple of more chives. Okay, crepe number 3, we are moving into sweet territory, and we're gonna do peanut butter and jelly. You know, I know this is basic, but I love this one, guys. And I like to top these with just a little powdered sugar. Next, we're gonna do another sweet crepe with Nutella and strawberries. Nutella is delicious with crepes. You can also do Nutella with peanut butter, Nutella with bananas, just Nutella. It's really delicious with this, guys. Next, we're gonna try one that is some vanilla yogurt, raspberries, and a touch of maple syrup. And this is because I ran out of honey. But I think it'll taste nice. Okay guys, for the last one that we're gonna do, since we are really going for it here, this is pretty indulgent, I think we can all agree. Earlier, I made some Amaretto whipped cream. This is heavy cream and a tablespoon of powdered sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and then Amaretto. And I add a little bit of plain Greek yogurt to mine just to cut the sweet. And you want to whip it until it gets to be this nice, delicious, rich, creamy. It's amazing. Amaretto whipped cream. Seriously. It's so good. I think Amaretto should be in everything. Well, okay, fine, not everything, but it's really good. So for this last crepe, we are gonna do a layer of my Amaretto whipped cream and some strawberries. Okay. So these are our crepes, guys, and generally you wouldn't wait for these to all be done together. You would serve them each as they came out. So if you have these coming out and you can keep your hungry Brandon away from them, stop it, you took, then that's great for you. So we are going to eat our delicious crepes now. And now Brandon is actually allowed to take one. Okay guys, now that these are ready, we are gonna do some major taste testing for our brunch today. So I'm gonna try the ham and Gruyere one, because I like to start with savory.
I'm gonna try one too then.
It's so good.
Yum.
It's so good. And they came out so thin this time. And I really think you guys are gonna love this crepe recipe. So that's it. We're gonna keep eating these crepes, guys. And thank you so much for watching Brunch with Lily and making crepes with us today. I hope you liked the crepes and the breakfast cocktail. Don't forget our Aperol Spritz. And we're gonna keep eating crepes. Bye guys!